I'm still trying to catch up on everything after having finally returned from San Diego Comic-Con, and honestly, there is still so much to go over, especially from that Hall H panel for Marvel Spider-Man 2. It's very surreal to me to have honestly even experienced that. It still doesn't feel fully real. I'm pinching myself today to figure out if I'm still dreaming. Being there in Hall H with the crowd, hearing them going insane, as crazy as I was for all the stuff that they were showing, it just made me so happy. I also got this Mondo poster for Marvel Spider-Man 2 signed by all the cast and crew that was there at Hall H for Marvel Spider-Man 2, and they were so incredibly kind. And I figured now was as good a time as any to go over with you guys some of the things that I saw in Hall H for Marvel Spider-Man 2. So why don't we just jump right into it? The panel actually started right away, exactly at 2:30 Pacific, and it began with the story trailer. Seeing it on the big screen with the surround sound in Hall H, hearing the crowd cheering for everything that they were showing. What an experience. Almost as good of an experience as it would be if you scrolled down right now and hit that thumbs up button on this video. And right after that story trailer ended, a lot of the people at Insomniac Games and as well the voice actors ended up making their way to the stage. And it was during this moment that Yuri Lowenthal, or in this case, Bully Lowenthal, showed up with his incredibly clean symbiote jacket, by the way, and then jumped up on the table at Hall H and started doing the dance. You know the dance.
Woo! Yeah! Oh, he's doing the dance! He's doing the thing!
Everyone loved that. People were cheering and had a great time with that. Honestly, Yuri Lowenthal is fully embracing the symbiote suit. I mean, this guy was wearing a literal symbiote suit. And then after that, they sat down and the panel had officially begun. By the way, hosted and moderated by my good friend Dorian Parks over at Geeks of Color. He did such an incredible job, and it was a surprise to me that someone I knew was actually hosting that panel. But as conversations continued surrounding Marvel Spider-Man 2, they were showing some new screenshots, some of which you've now seen surfaced online officially. But they were also talking about the open world and how it's expanded in Marvel Spider-Man 2 now. You know, we get to explore Brooklyn, Coney Island, and of course, Queens. And while with Queens being an explorable area, it was mentioned by Jacinda Chu that we actually get to go to the home that Peter Parker grew up in. That's right, you'll actually be able to visit and walk inside of Aunt May's home in this game. And I know for a lot of people, you might think that that's not super exciting news, but for Spider-Man fans, it got us very hyped. It's just another opportunity to delve deeper within the world that was created here from Insomniac in Marvel Spider-Man 2. And also, who knows what kind of Easter eggs we might see walking through Peter's childhood home. And then I'd imagine inside of Aunt May's home, you can use her computer and then subscribe to this channel and turn on those notifications. Laura Bailey, the voice of Mary Jane Watson in this game, was on stage as well. And as you may have noticed in that story trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2, MJ has a bit of a redesign. It's been confirmed by James Stevenson that it's still the same model who's playing the character. They didn't change the actual model like what they did with Peter in Spider-Man Remastered. But a major change, of course, is that her hair is down now. She looks a lot better with that, I think. And then obviously as well, Marvel Spider-Man 2 is a big leap graphically from the first game. So you're going to see some differences in terms of the way that they look because, well, they're just higher in fidelity now. But I mention all this because as Laura Bailey was talking about her role as MJ in this game, they showed some concept art of the character, and again, she's looking great. They also mentioned that things are falling in line from what we saw in the prequel comic for Marvel Spider-Man 2. J. Jonah Jameson owns the Daily Bugle now, and that's going to be a bit of a problem for MJ. I mean, her boss is literally the love of her life's #1 hater. I hope we get to see a lot of J. Jonah Jameson in Marvel Spider-Man 2 and not just hear him through podcasts. But then we started to get into the nitty-gritty, okay? We passed it over to Tony Todd, the voice of Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2, and my goodness, is he so good as Venom. Because not only did we get a new taste at his voice in the story trailer for the game, but also he gave the fans quite the treat in Hall H by giving us this line.
Bring us all out if you want. No, okay. We are Venom.
Woo! Let's go!
Tony Todd also said that what he did and his work on Marvel Spider-Man 2 has been his favorite journey in voice acting to date. I'm so glad to hear that, honestly, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing what that full performance will be like because, man, the little snippets that we got have been good. But then the conversation started to shift, and they were talking a little bit about specifically Venom's design in Marvel Spider-Man 2. You know, Jacinda Chu, who was on stage at the Hall H panel, mentioned that Venom is a big guy, okay? He's a really swole freaking dude, okay? And at one point or another in the concept art that they showed, clearly they were gonna have Venom be quite the hulking presence. But the thing that led them to land on the design that we actually have in the game is that not only is Venom this extremely powerful foe, not only is he super strong, but he's really fast too. And so they even played around with certain designs to have him a bit more lean. But what we got, I feel, was the best of both worlds. You know, he's not super huge, but he's the right kind of big. He's towering over the other Spider-Men, and he looks great in Marvel Spider-Man 2. And at one point or another, he was actually going to have the classic symbiote logo on his chest per the concept art that was posted here. I know there are some Spider-Man purists out there, you know, the type of Spider-Man fans that are just never happy, that don't actually like the Venom logo in Marvel Spider-Man 2. I'm a big fan. It looks really good in my personal opinion. Would I have liked if they went with a more classic Venom logo? I mean, sure, of course, but do I hate the Venom logo that they're using? Absolutely not. I think his design looks great in this game, and honestly, you look at it and you notice that's Venom. Similar to what they did with the white spider logo for Spider-Man, they do that tiny little twist to the design so that first of all you can recognize the character, but then second of all you can understand that it's Insomniac's version of the character. So when you look at that logo, although it kind of looks like the Lee Price logo from the comic books, at the end of the day we're now going to associate this Venom design and that Venom logo to be the Insomniac Venom. And then one of the final things that we got to see during this Hall H panel, they saved a big surprise for last, and this was actually quite the surprise considering a lot of people didn't think this was going to happen. They rolled the trailer and we got revealed to us a custom PlayStation 5 and controller for Marvel Spider-Man 2. And let me just say, I love this design, but there was one thing I wish that they added to it that actually would have made it perfect. And well, what that is for me is that instead of having the little white spider logo on the touchpad of the controller and then as well on the black side of the PlayStation cover at the bottom, I would have liked if they just had this Venom logo instead. Having this Venom logo cover the entirety of the black side of the PlayStation cover and then as well the touchpad for the controller, I would have really enjoyed that. Overall though, I really like what they did with the design. I love that it's like the symbiote taking over the red. I thought that was awesome. It feels like a literal sequel to the actual custom PS4 controller that they made back when that game was coming out. And I'm also such a huge fan of how consumer friendly it is. It's not just going to be that there is a PlayStation 5 console bundle that you have to get this with. You can buy the PlayStation covers separately or the controller separately. Granted, if you don't have a PS5, this is as good a time as any to go ahead and get one, especially with this custom Spider-Man 2 one. Bravo, PlayStation, bravo. Very consumer-friendly move right there. Oh yeah, and there was one more thing I needed to point out. On the actual show floor at the convention, if you head to the Marvel booth, they had a Marvel Spider-Man 2 standee there, and the Mad Lads at Insomniac did it. They recreated that screenshot once again, and now it will haunt my dreams forever as I got to see it in real life. Jokes aside though, it was really cool to see that in person. I love as well the Venom head that's floating in the back. Some people even got to take a picture with it at one point at the Marvel booth and got the Spider-Man 2 prequel comic for free. And that wraps up the things that I saw at Hall H for Marvel Spider-Man 2. There's a ton of stuff that they talked about that I would want to go over in a future video, but I just wanted to focus here in today's video some of the things that were shown. And with that being said, now I want to kick it to you guys. Sound off with your thoughts in the comment section below. Out of all these things that I showed for you here in today's video, what got you the most excited? And with that being said, I've been Caboose, and I'll see you guys later.